Thank you. Call this meeting to order. It's a liaison committee between the city school district, Mesa Water District, and Costa Mesa Sanitary District. Very important proactive meeting. It's February 11th. And again, the liaison committee. So we'll go ahead and let's have a roundtable introduction, starting with the school district.
I'm Wes Smith, the proud superintendent of the Newport Mesa Unified School District. How about our trustees now?
Charlene Metoyer, longest serving board member on this Zoom by a couple of years.
Ashley Anderson, I'm representing Westside Costa Mesa.
Leah Ersoilu, representing the Estancia Zone, newest member of the board, barely here.
Any staff able to sign in? I know they were trying to get in as well.
I'm here. I'm Ada Zaresny. I'm the Director of Facilities for the school district.
Hello, Shelley. Oh, go ahead.
Shelley Humphrey, Director of Transportation.
Jeff Trader, CFO. And we should have Lance joining too. Somewhere. Is he in yet? Okay.
Let's go on. Let's go on then to Mesa. Paul. Paul Schoenberger, are you there?
There we go. Hi, Paul Schoenberger, General Manager at Mesa Water District. And we have two of our directors with us.
Sean Duane, Division 5, Mesa Water District.
Jim Fissler, Division 2, Mesa Water District.
And going to the Costa Mesa. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Marici Pasquale, Division 3, and co-president.
Sorry, Maris.
No, that's quite all right. I'm only here for a few minutes, popping in.
Oh, okay. Let's go on to the sanitary district. Scott.
Thank you. Scott Carroll, General Manager for Costa Mesa Sanitary District.
I'm Bob Uten, the President of the Costa Mesa Sanitary District.
Mike Schaefer, Director of Costa Mesa Sanitary.
I'm Art Perry, Director for District 4.
Art.
My name is Mark Esker, District Engineer, Costa Mesa Sanitary District.
Okay, let's go on down. Use the raised hands feature, if you would, please, for public comments.
About the city of Costa Mesa, Bob.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a very proactive meeting. So, city of Costa Mesa, please.
Lorianne Farrell Harrison, City Manager. Good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. It's John Stevens, the Mayor of Costa Mesa. I'm driving safely on Bristol Street right now on my way to my office.
Arliss Reynolds, Council Member, District 5.
Raja Sethuraman, Public Services Director.
Jason Mentor, Parks and Community Services Director.
Maria, Assistant to the City Manager.
Alex Gonzalez, Chief of Staff.
Okay, let's go on to public comment, please. Please use the raise hands feature. No, do we have any public comment today?
I've seen them, Mr. President.
Okay, then we'll go on to the number 4, the shredding composting event, Costa Mesa Sanitary District. Scott, are you going to lead this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone. So the city of Costa Mesa and the sanitary district is teaming up to sponsor, I think, one of the first events in the community, a shredding event in the community. And we're really excited about this event. However, the reason why I'm putting this on the agenda is asking for some cooperation from school district officials. If Nolani, if you pull up the map, what we're requesting is if we can have the event over at Estancia High School, and she's going to pull up what the diagram of how we think it could work. There it is. So we were requesting if we can use Estancia High School for this event. It would be like, you know, an easy one way out. At the end of the event, after getting their papers shredded, if they want, they could also receive 2 free bags of mulch. So it'll be kind of it's a combination of shredding, mulching event. It will be staffed by city and district employees. So it'll be like, I think, a half a day event. We're looking April or May. So my question is to the school district officials: what do we do? Is this possible? 1, can we pet Estancia High School? And 2, what do we need to do to get the ball rolling? So I'll leave it up to how the school district can respond to that.
Hey, Jeff, I don't know if Lance is on or Otta can handle facilities issues. This is the first I've heard of it, and certainly be agreeable to looking into it. But can either of them speak to that process?
Yeah, they're here. Lance, you want to?
Yeah. What you mentioned NMUSD staff? What level of
No, I don't know school. It'll be just city and sanitary district staff.
Okay. You know what we could use for our use of facilities permitting process? We can check the facility availability to make sure that there's nothing going on. I'm assuming this would be on a weekend?
Yes, correct.
So we can go through the facility use calendar to make sure we don't have any athletic events or anything else that's going to occupy that space. Jason's department is pretty familiar with putting in the use permits. I don't know if that would be appropriate to go through his office or get assistance, or you can contact our use of facilities desk here at the school district.
Is there a specific person I can go through? I like to, you know, April and May is just around the corner, so we can.
Yeah, Matt Wong would
Matt
be your
Wong.
best contact. Wong, W-O-N-G.
Okay, great.
And I can give you his number.
Sure.
It's 714-424-7545.
And what's his email address?
Is M as in Matt Wong at nmusd.us.
Great. Thank you. I'll reach out to him. Thank you very much.
Scott, would you go on then to the access to the city permitting system?
Yes. So this is another request, but this is for a request to the city and specifically.
I'm sorry,
Lorianne.
Scott. I'm sorry. Charlene had her hand raised,
Okay.
Mr. President.
I'm sorry, Charlene.
That's okay. I'm used to it. Just a quick question. I'm looking at the map, and because of course it's little, I'm just confirming. This is at the entrance and exit where the signal is, right? And it goes back behind, the map goes back down that south
Correct.
side. Perfect. Okay. That's
Yes.
all I was checking. That's a good location. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Scott.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. So this next request is actually for the city and specifically Lorianne. In the past, the district was able to have access to the city's permitting system to determine, you know, what projects have been completed. So then we can cross-reference our data to make sure that applicants have submitted a sewer permit. Recently, we've been coordinating with, I forget the name of the person over at the city, and he's been very, very, very polite, very helpful, but we get the impression he's extremely busy, which we understand. And we've just been asking many times for a list of projects that we haven't received it yet. So I thought maybe it might be a little more efficient if we can have access to your permitting system. Again, we were able to do that way back when, right when I got here. I was wondering if that's possible again, if we can have access to the permitting system. So Lorianne, what do you think?
I mean, I'll definitely look into it. I know that we're going through, when you say our permitting system, I'm assuming that you mean our development services permitting system and all of that information. So we're going through a process to change our land management system. So, but I'll definitely look into it and see what the barrier is for you to, I don't know what it would be. And so we'll get you as much access as we possibly can Sure.
Sure, I appreciate it. Great. Thank you, Lorena. Much appreciated.
Okay, the next item is CIP, the Sanitary District CIP projects. Mark, make this brief if you would, please.
Yes, President Newton. Just real quick, there's about a half a dozen projects I think of interest for the city or school districts and water district. We have our first project is our President's Pump Station. It's located off of President's Place, south of Victoria. We've had about 6 months worth of delay, almost all due to COVID. In fact, there was about 6 weeks where contractor employees were just out. So we should finish up in March. We have about 400,000 out of a $1.6 million project to finish up. Second project is our calcium removal project. We basically have water hardness growing in our sewer pipes. It's been there for quite a while and it's starting to plug up our pipes and we need to get it removed. It's just at various locations throughout the city of Costa Mesa. It's about $100,000 project and it'll be next fiscal year. So the city will be seeing us out in the streets next fiscal year. The third set of projects I'll talk about, we have 3 and it's basically repairs. It's a ductile iron pipe repair, a sewer siphon repair, and a grade 4. We basically have sewer repairs we have to make, and it's about $1.6 million worth of work over the next year and a half to complete within the city of Costa Mesa, and we should be done with that, like I said, in about a year and a half. We have another set of pump station projects, Avamore force main, and then West Bluff pump station rehabilitation. They're in the west side of Costa Mesa, south of Victoria, and we'll spend about $500,000 or $600,000 to complete those 2 facility upgrades. I'm going to say this coming summer, end of fall of 2022. The fourth project is our Geisler pump station. We'll be doing a new force main in Geisler near the Santa Ana River. It's about a $500,000 project, and that'll probably go this summer with some luck. And then we have one project. I don't know if the city of Newport Beach is on, but I know the Unified School District is probably interested in this one. We're doing a minor interconnection facility relocation off of Irvine Avenue and 15th Street near the Newport Harbor High School. We've been coordinating that with the city of Newport Beach. The work is being done during, I think they call it the winter break. We will do our work on the 19th, 21st, and 22nd of February. Then the city comes in and does their ADA sidewalk work the last half of that week. And I think the whole project will be done before the high school goes back in that following Monday. That concludes my report. If anybody has questions, happy to answer. I'll say easy questions or quick questions now, or call me at the Costa Mesa Sanitary District. I'm happy to give anybody more detailed information.
Thank you, Mark. Does anyone have any questions? Arliss, you have your hand raised.
Yes, quick question about the President Street pumping station. Do you anticipate any other access blocks like there were in the beginning, or no?
Yeah, well, when I say access block, it'll be temporary. We've got a half a day. We have to pour some concrete, I'm going to say in about a week or so from now. And so we will have a half day closure of the park access because we'll have concrete trucks coming into the pump station. And then we will need to, I'll say, rehabilitate the asphalt driveway or access into that pump station. That's probably going to be about a day's closure from say 8 a.m. to about 4:30 p.m. And then we have to, when we finally finish up the project, we will have one more closure to meet the city's requirement to basically slurry seal the cul-de-sac at the end of President's Place. So I guess I'll sum it up by saying we have 3 minor closures. One of them is to complete work required by the city. The other 2 will be to finish up the actual pump station work. I'm thinking both of those, one of them will be a day, one will be a half a day, and the other one, I'm going to say maybe a half a day closure.
Arliss, does
Thank
that
you.
answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Okay, let's go on then. The next item is safe routes to school at the city and school district. Who wants to lead this off?
I will. Just because I unmuted, I hate to waste a perfectly good unmuting on time. This is truly a collaboration between the city and the school district. We both have that strong interest to get our kids safely to school and to encourage getting to school without a car involved if you're close enough to walk and or bike. And this sort of blends right into the bike safety. But the biggest reason that I wanted it on this agenda was to illustrate how wonderfully we are opening up our collaboration again, but we need to have point people from each organization, from the city and the school district. I know the city has mapped out all those safe routes to school because they're on city property, but we are absolutely on board with that. And we would love to help. So what the biggest reason I wanted it on here, Lorianne, especially for you, so that you can talk to Dr. Smith and get the right people connected so that we can have a collaboration that isn't a once a year event. That's just how it is. I know that Councilperson Reynolds and I were talking, and we came up with some way fun out of the box ideas that I would not present right now because they were really, really fun, but it's something we can start working at actively. So that's why this is on here.
Does the city need to weigh in?
Well, that sounds great. We'll work with Wes to make sure that we enhance the collaboration and that we come up with a good plan there.
And I really wasn't thinking of a safe route for the buses because I know the buses do drive safely and get our kids back and forth. It was more the walking and biking. Thank you so much.
Can we go on to item number 5, school district?
Hey, hold on.
Hi, John.
So we have a constituent, Kathy Jo Liebel in College Park, and she's been asking about having a crossing guard on Loyola and Fair Drive. I don't know if that's even been mentioned or if anybody's working on that or whatever, but when I saw this on the agenda, I thought it would be an opportune time to raise that. So anyway, that if somebody could look in a crossing guard on Loyola and Fair, that I think we've got at least that one request for it.
We have several of our schools that when everything was started, they weren't so busy in the morning when these safe routes started, and now Fair Drive is busy all the time. So I think that, I mean, honestly, John, crossing guards come to you. So not you personally, the city. So the city would know if there's plans to add that.
Yeah, whatever. This was directed to, I don't know who's in charge of that, but if it's,
I know that.
It's John.
I know that feeling.
Don't assume that I have all this dialogue about crossing guards within this. Good. I'm talking to my own people.
Yeah, that would be us. And so we'll work with Raja to see if we've studied that recently. And if not, we can do a crossing guard study there and determine next steps.
While we have that on the menu, I just want to thank Costa Mesa because as a principal, I worked with Newport Beach. They're not easy to work with when it comes to crossing guards. And at least the city of Costa Mesa is wonderfully easy to work with and open and understanding. So let that be out on the table that this is a good dialogue.
Arliss, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, just one more note on this topic. I think one of our challenges have been resources, of course. So for Wes and Lorianne in your discussions, I think trying to bring in either PTAs as additional potential resources on the sort of programming and engagement, maybe crosswalk support in the morning would be really helpful. Thanks.
Shelley, you have your hand raised?
Yes, great question about crossing guards. I just had a meeting yesterday with the city of Costa Mesa and Jennifer Rosales and her team. So I did ask, that's one of the schools that they went out and did work on and some research. So we're getting close to the numbers that the city requires for crossing guards at College Park. They saw more of a need at Notre Dame and right outside the school. Versus Fair, but they're willing to look at any and everything. They did a great job. I had them look over at Adams School as well. They were looking at some areas for Ray. We have added Ray bus stops back, so there isn't a need. They only had 2 kiddos cross there. Yeah, so the city's been very, very helpful, and they've gone out multiple times. So I'll continue to work with Jennifer and her team and see if they can do another time study. And so they look at an hour of time, in the morning, and so many kids have to cross and traffic. And so there's a whole formula they use. But I know Wes and I had a talk, I don't know, I think it was a few months ago, and our former superintendent about looking at some of these need areas as well. So we're on it.
It's an interesting catch-22 because I found that you would have more kids crossing if there was a crossing guard, but you have to have a certain number of kids to cross to get a crossing guard. And that's where I ran into challenges to get kids to cross. But if the dialogue's up and running, we're in good shape. Thank you.
Okay, let's go on to item number 5, school district, city, community field use. Who's going to lead this discussion?
I will. This is something that has come up a few times in speaking with Councilwoman Reynolds and Councilman Chavez about the neighborhoods that particularly do not have parks near them. So Wilson, Pomona, and Whittier. I think the main 2 coming up, I think, for President's Week. It might be a bit soon, but I'm not sure if we could possibly work out an arrangement to just discuss if there's a possibility for park ambassadors, and if there's still interest in having the school district discuss if the field access is a need that the city sees and hears from community.
Does anyone else need to weigh in on this issue?
I'm going to. Thank you, Trustee Anderson. We have a joint use agreement, and I've asked for a long time, and we need to revisit it. It's not that in a positive way. This is positive, not negative. It's been revisited in the parts that has to change because of certain circumstances. I mean, we built a pool, we had to figure out time usage, so that part got changed, and we had air conditioning now, so something could happen and that part changed. But to just look at the document as a whole, it is an interesting patchwork quilt that I'm not even sure comes to a rectangle when it's all finished together. And it may take a long time to go through it, but I'd love to get that started because that's exactly what happens. We know we have to have cycles of use because the school district wants to share our parks, but we have to make sure our fields and everything is good for the kids. And Trustee Anderson's point of the ambassadors is absolutely spot on, because I love our children and I love the strangers that aren't our children who come onto a campus, and then we have to fix the vandalism and the mess in the morning for the kids to come back. So this again is a wonderful opportunity for collaboration.
Arliss, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I was just going to sort of share support and encouragement on this topic. The city has set a goal to increase access to open space for our community, and we're, I think this year we'll get through our update to our open space master plan. We're going to be doing analysis to look at what parts of our community do not have access to a park within a 10-minute walk. We already know from looking at maps that much of those neighborhoods are on the west side. And so we're working on some longer term solutions and want to be really creative in our strategies so that every child, every parent, every family in our neighborhood has good access to a park. And we do think this collaboration on the school fields will be a really important part of that solution. So I really appreciate the conversation. Thank you.
Leah, you have your hand raised.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, following up on Arliss's point that much of the Park Poor area is on the west side, having this conversation about exploring joint use opportunities that can create true community schools, because that's sort of a vision that with our new superintendent, this idea of supporting the whole child does require a community school space. And so having those green spaces open and accessible for communities and families of the kids is super important. So anything that you think is a possible next step, whether it's the city and the school district come together and review those joint use policy documents and have a conversation, or whether we should each review them separately and then come together, whatever that logistically needs to look like, I would just ask staff that if that's something that we can move forward with, that's very important. Thank you.
Does anyone else need to weigh in on this topic? If
I'll
not,
jump in.
Laura Ann, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that Wes and I have discussed very, very high level. It's a strong interest on both sides to take a look at this policy again. I know that staff had worked on this before. We received our new fantabulous superintendent. And so wanted to give him a little chance to kind of get his feet wet, get caught up. Then of course, COVID had the second, fifth surge, whatever we're at this point.
Yeah.
But now with things coming down a bit, it's an opportune time for us to get the teams together and look at this agreement again, new set of eyes, and then move forward from there. So we're absolutely committed to doing that.
Okay, thank you all. Arliss, are you going to lead the bike safety education item?
I don't think so. I can.
Oh, it says city.
I can. I'll jump in. I think staff might have some comments on this too.
Okay.
There's, I think, two areas of bike safety education. One in process and one planned. Maybe there's three. So we have made success on some on-campus bike safety events. This is through a grant from the Orange County Healthcare Agency. I was happy to learn that 4 of our schools are now partnered with bike safety sort of education programs. Wilson, Pomona, Whittier, and Sonora, I believe. So they're going to be doing some events specifically engaged on bike safety, and at least one of those events will come with a sort of school-specific walk-to-school day. So we'll try to make sure there's good sort of support and celebration around that. I know I think our staff are working with the schools also on e-bike safety education, which is becoming increasingly important as e-bikes, I think are very quickly highlighting the challenges of safety on our roads. And then a third I'm going to throw in there, as I learned as I got my new e-bike, a little adult safety education could be helpful too. So I'm working on some partnerships to try to get some e-bike safety for the rest of us. So I'll let staff add anything else.
Raja.
Thank you. So as Councilmember Arliss also mentioned, we are working on a program on safety education with our police department. We recently hired a new active transportation coordinator, Brett Atencio Thomas, and he will be working with School District 2 and coordinating this bike safety education at different schools. And yes, e-bikes is a new challenge. And it's difficult even for our police department to kind of understand all the different types of e-bikes and the different rules that go with each of these e-bikes. So that's one part of it. And the other is in general bike safety education. I think that should be an ongoing thing that our PD is interested. They're doing bike rodeos. They will be doing more of that. And working with our active transportation coordinator will do more of that coordination.
Thank you all. Oh, Roger, is your hand still raised or are you done? Okay, let's go on to the Costa Mesa residential trash collection. City put this item on the program.
I'll take this, and I think, Raja, you can feel free to jump in.
Sure.
And so we know that there were some recent challenges with the residential trash collection. I think for the most part, those issues have been addressed. One of the things that I wanted to offer was we have these meetings which are good and allow for a lot of collaboration and sort of highlighting some of the policy priorities that we're all going to be working on. But there's another opportunity that I think we have as it relates to emergency management and disaster management and planning. And so I just wanted to offer, and for staff to think about us getting together quarterly, perhaps on disaster preparedness and emergency management. And so I think that would be helpful too. It's something that we've been doing at the city. I'm sure you do it as well, but it'd be probably good for us to get our staffs better connected on a quarterly basis with our leadership teams to get into the habit of, going through specific disaster management planning together. And so this was just something, with COVID, it just reminded me that we should probably do disaster planning around other events as well, earthquakes, floods, fires, all of that. So I can put together something from our emergency manager to connect with yours for, more routine, sort of more consistent methodology for getting together. And then the last thing is, if you have continuity of operation plans and your emergency operations procedures and manuals related to the pandemic annex or something of that nature, or you want us to look at your COOPs, it's good for us to kind of reality check each other's continuity of operation plans and see if there's anything that's missing. We'd be happy to share from our departments that could impact you so that we can see if there are any gaps. And so this just provided a good opportunity. This situation with the challenges collecting the trash was just a good, healthy reminder about coordination around disaster management as well.
Yeah. Paul, do you want to weigh in, Paul or Scott?
Well, I'll say I'll definitely support that suggestion, Lorianne. I definitely agree that if there's some kind of, especially if you think about it, if there's a catastrophic disaster like an earthquake, we're going to have to be relying on each other, and we have to be constantly communicating with each other. So yes, I think I'm 100% support of that suggestion. So please, you can have your emergency manager reach out to Mark Esker. He's our emergency coordinator here at the district, so we can get that ball rolling. But thank you for that suggestion. Definitely welcome it.
Yeah, same thing here. Would love to get our emergency coordinator together and see how we can better prepare. So good idea.
And school district probably needs to weigh in also. Let's see. What is the next item? Bike. Is that bike safety education, or have we done that?
No, Lonnie, can you scroll down a little bit further?
Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. City community workforce agreement and apprenticeship. City has this item. Lorianne, are you going to lead this, or?
Mayor, would you like to, or would you like for me to lead this one?
No, you can lead it, Lorianne.
Okay, so we just wanted to share with you the great news that the city has entered into a community workforce agreement with the Los Angeles and Orange County Trade Council, we're really excited about this because through this agreement, we'll have the trades working with the community basically to make sure that the jobs that are created from a lot of our capital projects are open to our residents, and also to graduating students and even students that haven't graduated from high school that are interested in an apprenticeship or a pre-apprenticeship. So this was just approved by the City Council at the last meeting. There is a goal in our agreement that for every capital project over $1 million in the city, that there be 35% representation of Costa Mesa residents or someone from the region. And so there's a 5-step criteria, if you will, to get to the 35% participation, but it's basically Costa Mesa residents within our zip codes. It is veterans to have opportunity to work on capital projects in the city. So graduates of the high schools and anybody from the region and the labor hall. So from the Orange County region, and we have specific zip codes attributed to that, within Orange County. And so there's also a 10% disadvantaged worker goal, which is foster care youth that have been emancipated. If someone's homeless, so we're hoping that individuals that are in our homeless shelter will have an opportunity to work on these projects as well, convicted felons. And so giving an opportunity to people who've served time but have difficulty getting back on, the employment roles, if you will. And so it's an ambitious program. We're going to be working closely with the trades to set up apprenticeships that then we would like to have you avail yourselves of as well, especially the school district. And so we'll have more conversations on this. We'll be meeting with the trades next week. This is a program that I'm familiar with from my previous employment in Long Beach. We were able to make a real dent in making sure that residents were able to work and in the community that they live in and have the opportunity to work on these really exciting capital projects. And so we're hoping that for students that are not going on to college that want to work in the trades, that this will be an excellent opportunity for them to have a pathway to do that through the apprenticeship program and through building this relationship with the Trades Council. And so we're super excited about it. And we're really hoping that we can engage with you as community partners to allow for those opportunities as well.
Sounds very exciting. Thank you very much. Does anyone else need to weigh in on this?
I will. Next week, the school district, we have our Career Technical Education Advisory Committee meeting. So I will bring this up and share this with them as well, Lorianne.
Oh, that's fantastic, Ashley. Thank you. Because we have up the skeleton and the framework for the referrals. And so that's exciting.
Yeah, I'll if you can send that over to Wes perhaps, and then he can share that with our staff, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, we used to have at Orange Coast College, there used to be an apprentice, or used to be a technical discipline for wastewater treatment plant education, and that doesn't exist anymore. We had a lot of really good staff come from that program, but so I guess my suggestion would be tie into Orange Coast College or the other local community resources that might provide education in this area.
Right, that's definitely something that we're looking into. Thank you for that suggestion. And I'm glad to know that at one point there was a track like wastewater treatment. So a lot of that has gone away over the years, and so we're trying to bring back that accessibility to the trades for students.
Okay, are we ready to go on to Mesa Water? Paul.
Thank you very much. We are about halfway through the rain season, and we thought this would be a great time to give a water supply update. Nolani's bringing up the slides, and I'll just say next if I want you to click it next. First a weather update. It's hot and it's dry. And it doesn't feel a lot like winter right now. Last year was very, again, hot and dry, hardly any rain. Same with this year, with the exception of the wettest December we've ever had. So it's been kind of whipsaw this year. And that December has really helped the entire state, the region. Because of it, we are not rolling into mandatory cutbacks or anything. But for that December, things would be very, very different. So next slide, please. So yeah, this is a water supply condition update. If you could go next slide. And click it once. So this is where we were 4 short months ago in October. This is the U.S. Drought Monitor, and that's California. And the darker red, it is the more extreme the drought we are in. So things were really, really bad. And because of December, things are much better now. If you can click it again. There you go. You can see that things have moderated quite a bit. So, we're our normal dryness now, but certainly not kind of the severe condition that we had before. And so this is something we look at every month in the water biz, and plus a lot of other stuff. We get really detailed into this, but this is a high level discussion here. Most of the water and most of the snowpack for California comes from Northern California. And so we keep very close look on Northern California. The State Water Project that brings water into Southern California gets its water from Northern California. So we're very interested in what's called the 8-station index up there. And if you can click it, you'll see the area that we get most of our snow and precipitation. And if you can click it again, you will see in the gray is kind of an average year. And that blue line starting at 0 in the lower left, October, November, first week of December, really 0 precipitation. You can see the blue line going up tremendously because of that series of storms in December. And ever since then, it has been just flat. January in Orange County, 0 rain. So far, February, we've hardly had clouds, let alone rain. And it's looking like we won't have any more rain in February. So it's, March is really our last possibility for any sort of substantial rain this year. So if you can click again and click one more time. So this is just the last about 20 years. And you starting on the right is 2022, which is the year we're in now. If we get no more rain this year, we will have a 61% of average for the rain year. So there's still a chance, a couple good storms, we could get up close to average. You can see the previous 2 years have been very much below average. And as happens in California, we never actually get average. It's either way more or way less. And 2019 was a really, really good year for water, which we're kind of, as far as storage, we're still sort of floating off of that. The next place that especially Southern California gets a lot of its water from the outside is the Colorado River. So we also keep a good look at the Colorado River. If you can click, one more time. See, those are the basin states. That's the watershed that goes into the Colorado River. There's a canal from the Colorado that goes through Imperial Irrigation District by the Salton Sea and into Southern California. And if you'll click it again, you'll see a similar graph. The gray area is your average year as far as the snowpack in the Colorado. And you'll see a very similar sort of rollout of the year, a little bit of rain and snow in October and November, a lot in December, and then it's been pretty flat since then. If you can click again, there you go. And so on the Colorado, they're 57%. they certainly will get some more storms, so it will go above there. They get storms that kind of go through Seattle and skirt around California and into these into the Rockies. But good chance again that we will be below normal. So that's all. That's all what it is. Locally or regionally, Southern California, we rely, we meaning the water industry, relies a lot on Metropolitan Water District. Half of the water that's used in Orange County comes from the Colorado or the State Water Project. Half is local. Mesa Water, we are fortunate, through our board's vision and investments. We are 100% local at Mesa Water District. We're the only agency in Orange County that has tapped all of our resources to the level where we don't need to bring the water in. But you're really only as reliable as your neighbors. And so we keep a close track on the entire water situation. So if you'll click again and one more time. So we're going to talk about the storage in all of Southern California that Metropolitan Water District has. That's our regional agency. If you can click one more time. So on the very far right, you can see that they're projecting that they're going to end this year with 2.1 million acre feet in storage. So that is good. That's a good sign. That's 2 or 3 or 4 years of water stored. So that gives the area a good amount of buffer and, makes all of our neighbors, very reliable. And so, that's kind of the highlight of this. And then also the next slide, if you can advance. This is our groundwater basin. Now we're getting, we've started wide and now we're getting more and more local here. This groundwater basin is where Mesa Water gets its water from. And everybody in Orange County, basically north of Irvine, north of the 55, that's where the groundwater basin is. You can see that gray line through the middle. That's really where they like to keep the levels. And right now we're a little bit below that. So that's also a good spot. We have 3 or 4 years of storage for all of Orange County in that area. And then you can also see off to the left that we've been even below this bright blue area in the past. And so, if push comes to shove, there's actually a lot more water resources there available for us. So that's why it's great to be locally sourced. This is also our least costly source of water. Mesa Water District, we're finishing up 2 brand new groundwater wells. We're doubling the amount of storage that our reservoirs hold. And then we also have tapped into a groundwater basin that's deep. It's below this groundwater basin. We have access to it because of our geography. And that has a couple 100 years of water available. So, we're looking good as a district, but, regionally, we're a little bit better. Statewide, not so good. And, why that's important is the cost of water and the amount of regulations or mandates that might be coming down. So water scarcity causes the price of water to go up. We're finishing up a $70 million capital improvement program to expand our reliability and keep our facilities in good working order. And the Wilson Street pipeline, which you guys know about, is one of those. That pipeline has been put in for through the end of March. We're going to be making all the connections now. So the street's going to be in kind of rough condition between Harbor and Newport until that's done. And then we've coordinated well with Raja and his group. And the city, as part of their paving program, is coming in and going to totally redo from curb to curb the pavement on Wilson as soon as we follow. So that was great timing on both of our parts. So, presently we're doing good. We've got several good years of supply. The Orange County Water District, which maintains this groundwater basin, is in the midst of a $310 million expansion of their recycling system, the GWRS. This is their third phase. So they've spent well more than $500 million on that project, but that comes at a price. They're projecting 7 to 8% rate increases for each year for the next 5 years. This year they've just informed us they're looking at a 7% this year. So it impacts us that way. And then the state gets very nervous when things get dry, especially if Northern California gets dry. The whole state seems to get mandates. Thanks to December, we're not quite there yet. So we'll hope for another storm or two this year. And like I always say, we hope for a wet winter next year. So you can just click it one last time to that overview slide. And that is the update, and would like to answer any questions that you might have.
Charlene?
Thanks. Overview questions, not district questions, because we've got you in the room. It's exciting. Arizona's demands for water have so increased over the past 20 years since half of California is moving to Arizona. And they want grass and their golf courses need to be green. Is that affecting our situation? And by our, I mean Costa Mesa. And the other question that you can blend it into is, if we are locally sourced, how are we so dependent on a Metro Water and Orange County Water? What if they have problems? Why does it affect us?
Very good. Yeah, those are big, broad questions. And it's amazing how connected the water world is. If somebody in Sacramento uses more or less water, that impacts Southern California. If Arizona uses more or less water, that impacts us. You can see that there's like 7 states that are all connected with various aqueducts and projects. On the Colorado River in Arizona, that is a highly regulated, litigated, and all sorts of rules as to who can use how much, and if there's a shortage, who loses first and then second and third and all that. The kind of problem with the Colorado River is, 90 years ago when they split up the pie, they thought the pie was this big, and they split it up, but the pie is actually about this big, and so there's not quite enough water to go around. So all the states are in some serious, very tough negotiations on how are we going to live with less water, and how are we going to spread that around. It only impacts Costa Mesa secondarily, because Orange County Water District, their job is to keep the groundwater basin full. We get about 75% from the groundwater basin that they manage. The other 25% comes from that deep aquifer with the hundreds of years of water. And only about 15, 20% of the water that they use to manage this basin comes from the outside. Most of it comes down the Santa Ana River, or just rains on us, or is this big recycling project that I talked about, which is 130 million gallons per day of wastewater. That is, just basically all of our wastewater is recycled and put back into the ground for use. So the impacts on Mesa Water District are very little, kind of secondarily and years away. That's the impact. What did that answer your question, or was there another part?
It's pretty close, but then I got the recycling is done at the recycling plant over on Ward and.
Yes. All the water that we provide is then goes into the Sand District's collection system. The sanitary districts collection system goes to the main Orange County sanitation district plants. They treat it. It goes to Orange County Water District. They put it through a reverse osmosis, and then they ship it back up to Anaheim, where it's spread back into the.
Are they still doing field trips?
Oh, yes.
That is one of the most eye-opening trips for both teachers and students. And while we're just dipping our toe back into field trips,
yeah,
I would love to have that be something, because you have a plant like that, and that imprint on a little kid lasts forever. I mean, and it's a one of the few like production field trips that we take, not a museum, not a concert, not something else. And it's right in our backyard. So that's exciting. Thank you so much, Paul. Yes, you answered it.
Great.
Well, Charlene, I can weigh in on that. I think most of the Orange County Water District and Orange County Sand District tours are still virtual. But, as the pandemic eases, they really would like to get back into, supporting those field trips. Does anyone else have any? Oh, Arlene or Arliss, you've got your hand raised. And you're muted.
Thought I'd get through one meeting without that. Thinking about the educational imprint, I still think about Ricky the Raindrop when I'm brushing my teeth and taking showers. So that was a program that really stuck with me. I think it'd be great. I think that was not us, certainly. I think that was a state agency. Anyways, I had a quick question about the Wilson Street pipeline project. I just wanted to make sure I had the timing right. So I heard sort of Mesa Water is done with all the connections at the end of March, and then the city will finish slurry sealing and all of that. Raja, when do we expect to be sort of done with the repaving of Wilson?
Councilmember Reynolds, we are working on advertising the project at this time. So we are coordinating with Mesa Water on exactly when they will be done. And it looks like it could be March, April timeframe. So we'll follow right behind them. So it could be May,
great.
June.
Thank you.
Can I just will that impact our kids that live south of Wilson trying to get north of Wilson over to College Park? Is there always a place for them to cross the street?
Yes, I mean, we will make sure that all our work will not impede traffic and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Crossing and yes.
Yeah, good, thank you. And then Paul, as you were sharing your report, I was browsing Mesa Water website for the different tips we offer for water conservation, and you've got a lot of really good things on here. So I'm wondering, with Earth Day coming up, maybe amplifying some of those sort of educational tips or even resources. For example, I didn't realize you guys offer low flow shower heads and aerators for pickup. Is that still a resource?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would love to. To see that amplified, and maybe the city can help amplify that during Earth Week or Earth Month as well. Thank you.
Great.
Does anyone else have any questions for Paul or on any of the topics we've covered today? Seeing no hands raised, I appreciate your patience getting on today and moving through the meeting swiftly. We're all busy. Thank you very much for your attendance and the discussion topics. If no other questions, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.